Want to know the types of connections men offer you subconsciously once they meet you? Curious how you can properly navigate to the connection you want with a guy, even if you're stuck in the wrong connection type with him? I've got all that coming up for you right now. Hey everybody, I'm dating and relationship coach Ryan Patrick, and welcome to the Hemispheric, located in the Ciudad de las Artes y las Ciencias in beautiful Valencia, Spain. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, I personally want to welcome you. Here you're going to find tough love, no BS dating advice from your boy, Ryan Patrick. Now, if you haven't already subscribed, just click that big red subscribe button below and make sure to turn on all notifications so you never miss one of my helpful Monday videos. Now, I'm super excited to talk about today's topic because we're talking about the types of connections men offer you subconsciously once they get to meet you, once they get to know you. But first, if you haven't checked out my new website, I have a new bundle for my online courses that's available. I want you to go check that out at boyfriendblueprint.com/courses. There you're gonna see two courses in particular, one on texting men and the other on online dating. I bundled them together at a discount that you can go find over there right now. So today I wanna talk about 5 different types of connections men are gonna start with you under these circumstances when they're first getting to know you. This first one is simple to understand, but it's not necessarily easy to understand because I feel like this one can get really complicated really fast if you let it, and that is friends and colleagues. Now, we can quickly talk about the friend zone and what the implications are of that, and also briefly touch on coworkers and dating within your workspace and that type of thing. So just understand that when a man extends a friendship to you, it could be an earnest offering. It could be an honest offering that he just really wants to be friends with you. The other one is this sort of friend zone sort of feeling that you may have felt in the past, where it kind of feels like a scrape off. It feels like you guys were hitting it off, going on a couple dates, and now he's bumping down or downgrading your connection to a friendship, and you just know that he's not being honest and earnest about it because it just feels like you're never gonna hear from him again. There's no follow-up, this kind of thing. So when you hear about the friend zone, that's specifically what that is. When a guy says he wants to be friends, but you never hear from him again. There's nothing that suggests in his behavior from that point on that he has any interest in being friends with you whatsoever. That being said, there's the other side of the coin, which is a guy just saying, hey, this is really cool. I really am liking the pace at which I'm getting to know you. You can maybe sense from him that he doesn't want to move too quickly with you physically, or he's just unsure about the connection. And I feel that it's completely okay if a man or a woman isn't really sure about the different types of connections that they're starting with someone because they're still trying to feel that person out. And I really feel that I know men don't do this nearly as much with women as they should, where they really need to take their time and think it through. Give it time, let the connection breathe a little bit before you put a label on it. So if you find yourself in a situation with a guy and it's kind of this sort of friendly, platonic offering, don't be so quick to turn it down, especially if you're getting the vibe from him that he's a genuine guy and that he's really looking for a friendship level connection with you. Now, the other one is the colleague connection, and that's just, your workplace buddy that you happen to do work with from time to time during the week. Maybe you guys go grab happy hour after work is over, that type of thing. But that one should never, ever, ever be touched on a romantic level. I've talked about this in other of my videos about dating coworkers, because when things don't work out, it's 10 times worse than if you didn't work with them, because when you go to work, you have a constant reminder of how things didn't work. I don't care if they're in another department, in another building, you're gonna run into that person more oftentimes than you want to when things don't work out, and typically those connections don't work out. So just take my warning with a grain of salt on that one. It's just never, never, never a good idea to date in the workplace. So that's the first type of connection. Friends and colleagues. Now, the second type of connection is friends with benefits. Now, this one can get a little dicey too if you let it. Friends with benefits usually takes place once you two have gone on a couple dates, you've spent a little bit of time together, and there's an actual conversation that takes place. Because in order to get a friends with benefits situation going, you sort of need to be able to lay out terms with the other person of what that means. I'm sure a lot of you have seen those movies. Friends with Benefits was one of them, and then No Strings Attached was another great one. I think they came out the same year too, ironically, but both really great. But you're gonna have a level of communication with a guy where he's gonna suggest that you guys go out and do things, but you're just friends, and he just wants the physical attributes of, a romantic relationship. So basically, he wants boyfriend privileges without him actually being your boyfriend or having to commit to you on the level of being your boyfriend. And that can be something that's completely fine with you. If you're okay with the physical, you're just looking for something very loose, very non-committal, that might work for a lot of you. But for a lot of you, you're not gonna stand for that. Maybe you found yourself in a friends with benefits situation after the fact, and you're like, man, what have I created for myself? This isn't what I wanted at all. So just understand there will be a period of time with the guy where you're gonna be laying out terms of what the friends with benefits relationship looks like. And that's one of the few connections, other than the last one that we're gonna discuss, so hang with me, where you're actually going to communicate and get specific about what each of you want. But it's not always gonna be with the attributes and the things that you want, which would be the commitment and just that level of intimate connection that you might be looking for with the guy. The third one is one that I hope you all will avoid, unless of course you're looking for this specifically, but it's very, very easy to fall into this trap if you're not expecting it, and that is pen pals. Now, what is a pen pal? A lot of us older folks know, writing letters by hand and sending them through the mail to some foreign country where someone receives it and they write you a letter back. That's the traditional sense of what a pen pal is, okay? But now in 2021, pen pals have kind of magically upgraded themselves through different forms of writing, in forms that we may not even consider being like pen pal related. One of them is in long distance relationships, when you're either communicating through an online dating app or a messaging app like WhatsApp or Kik, or just texting if you actually have their phone number and you're just texting with that person. And a pen pal connection is where you two are just going back and forth with, texts and stories and personal histories of one another. But the problem with this one is that you never actually get to spend time with that person face to face. And that's the most tragic element of the kind of connection sort of ecosystem with this one. Pen pals, you're not gonna get that face-to-face interaction with this one. And a lot of times you can end up in a pen pal exchange with a guy and waste a ton of time thinking that maybe on the other end of it, you guys will get to a place where you will get to meet face to face. Even if he's kind of future flashing with you and talking about him coming to visit you or you going to visit him, it's just a way for a guy to have a connection with a woman on the other end of his communication that can validate that he exists, maybe validate that he's attractive in some way, because it's just gonna make him feel good that he can talk to somebody. Now, that's totally okay if you understand that that's what's happening with that particular guy. You may also really enjoy a pen pal sort of relationship for that very reason. Just having a guy on the other end who's attractive, who's letting you know and validating your attraction, and just kind of filling your day with nice compliments and things that just kind of perk you up. getting off of work. It's just a nice exchange for you to have. But again, I want to caution you, know what you're getting into, know what you have in terms of your connection when you see these signs. You see the fact that you're never going to see this guy face to face, and there's just no follow through in terms of behavior of making that attempt to take you out on that date or to come visit you. That's just a very common trap for a lot of women to fall into, so just be wary of that. Now, the fourth connection type is something that I call the joint venture. Now, joint venture in business is typically when two entrepreneurs or two business people get together for a specific business or a specific project of some kind. And that's exactly what this type of connection with a man is. It's where you and another man come together for a period of time to feel out if this particular connection is worth continuing. So it is almost a limbo sort of in-between connection. But when you hear limbo and hear in-between, don't hear that as it being a bad thing. That's actually the next step to you getting to the last and final connection we'll discuss in a minute. But think of joint ventures as you sort of fleshing out the details of where things could potentially go. This is an opportunity for you guys to go out on dates, do things together, really feel out each other's personalities, and this is really just where the courtship process is going to take hold. This type of connection really needs to be introduced and maintained by the guy for the first month and a half. Again, this is that period of time when he's really trying to figure out consciously if he's wanting to invest in you, invest his time in you. But ironically, subconsciously, he's already doing that. Every time he texts you and initiates the text with you, this is big, because he's got to be the one that initiates those texts with you. Every time he does that and he's received with just warmth and excitement with your exchange back with him being like, hey, what's going on? Would be great to see you. You're throwing it in his court. And then he sets up the date with you. Again, he's received with warmth in the fact that you want to go out on the date. You guys handle the logistics of going on that date. And you guys are going to go through this process a handful of times before the courtship process is really going to take hold of him, especially because now he would have put in all of this legwork in pursuing you. But now you getting to the point where you would have felt out his consistency, you would have felt out his personality and his follow through with his behavior to make sure no red flags are being thrown up in the air, and that you feel comfortable moving towards a point of a deeper connection. And that's what we're going to get to right now. So as you may have figured out, the fifth connection type is one of a much more deeper and intimate connection with a man, and it's something that I call the partnership in crime. Now, the partnership in crime is exactly how it would sound. You're looking for your partner in crime, okay? So this is where you now have achieved that partnership. This is really where you've achieved that level of exclusivity. You've had a specific conversation about being exclusive together, and you both have agreed to it. Now, this is a verbal conversation that you would have had with him face to face. This isn't happening over the phone. This definitely isn't happening over text. And you two have established a trajectory of deep connection, and one that has led you on a path where, maybe you're just ready to hide your dating apps or delete them altogether, and you've just really told each other that you have no interest in dating other people. And that is going to feel really good, obviously, when you get to that level with someone. But I want to just add a caveat too, because this is a connection that really should be of ease to you. What do I mean by that? Because I know we can throw out things and just drop them without any sort of explanation. It's supposed to be easy with the people that you choose to have these exclusive connections with. It's supposed to be easy. Granted, you two are going to get on each other's nerves sometimes. This is just, normal personality clashing that's gonna take place. So just expect it. It's how you come out the other end of those exchanges that don't feel too good more times than not. That's really gonna let you know that you guys have nourished and nurtured this connection to create that deepness and that level of intimacy that is really going to make you feel at ease that he's not going anywhere and that you're not going anywhere, most importantly, that you're in this for the long haul. And if you can achieve that sense of ease, then you really just really take that to the bank and feel good about it and ride that as long as that connection lasts. Things aren't always meant to last forever. Anybody who's been in a good thing and then fallen out of that good thing knows what I'm talking about. But just treat every day as if it's its own in that connection. And what should happen is that will just bolster that connection and just create this richness and this deepness, hopefully that you've maybe never felt before. And each time you get better at it with each new person that you try to attempt that connection with. And it's just a really, really fun process after a while, especially when you get to that person that you just love in all senses of the word and you marry. It's just a really, really cool thing that I hope all of you, either if you don't have it now, you can attain it really soon. Again, if you haven't checked out my website, I have a bundle up on 2 of my courses. It's up for a limited time on my texting guides and my online dating field guides.
Ooh, they're coming for me.
So definitely go check out that limited time discount on that bundle right now at boyfriendblueprint.com/courses. Also, I want you to leave me a comment below right now. If you're currently in a connection with a guy and it's not the connection that you want, let me know in comments, what type of connection is that right now? And what connection do you desire with him? And if you want to talk about how you intend to get there, I think that's great. I will be in comments this week. Obviously, I'm traveling these next couple months, but if I can help out in any way, I will. Thanks for doing that. And before the police totally come after me, I think I'm gonna cut this one short. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you guys soon.